okay, this part very, very quickly. Okay. I was talking about homepage. Homepage is the first page as a functional role in terms that it's the first step for starting navigation. Okay, but it is composed of specific content, typically as group link and typically it has landmarks. And it has many communication purposes. When you design a web page, you have to reflect what is the communication effect I want to achieve in my user. Do I want to present the key values of my brand, to present the key of who we are in a broad sense, in a generic sense, the key message of what we are, what are our brand value? Do I want to provide an overview of the website? Do I want to invite to say to the user, okay, here, get in and you will find more? Or an appetizer is, okay, this will be a great experience. These are examples of what you can enjoy in this website or by experience myself as an entity. And it's typically a mix. Okay, so I just want to say that the communication, you have to make communication analysis in depth in order to understand what is the real communication effect you want to have the user. And that is the reason why it's the approach that I propose to web engineer, that is, do the website, design the web page, the home page at the beginning of your process. It's something that I force information engineers to do, and I do invite also interactive designers who are used to start their design from the design process. I recommend them, no, postpone it until you have designed the entire website, and the design of your homepage will be much more effective because you will capitalize on your maturity on understanding what the website you're designing is, what you want to achieve, a negotiation with your customer about it. The homepage will be much better if you start from the not from the home page, and if the home page is the result. Even if very often your customer asks you, give me the home page. Well, try to convince your customer that that is not a good first question to ask. So then we move to design documentation, and we said that the output of P-IDM design is a graphical description, some box and arrows, plus some textual comments that in this case are more frequent than in previous step of the design, because here there are more complex design decisions to take. And here is the notation. Okay, this arrow, this shape means page. When you put a name here, page name, which is just one for a dialogue act, you mean that this is the page for that specific dialogue act. When you put this spot here, it means, okay, I am aggregating more than one dialogue act, and typically the page name reflects this decision, like in this case. In this case, we said, okay, we want to put together welcome to practical info. So the name identifies the two dialogue act. The spot says we put two things together, while sponsors game into welcome. Practical info is a separate page. Reservation is a separate page. And then this little teeny triangle means I am not creating a separate page, a separate transition page for my transition link. I am embedding in the page my transition links. So this combining this symbol with this symbol together means I am embedding transition links. And this is with home, this is the home page, the page for the home page. Okay, and then we have this symbol, which is a grouping. So I am highlighting in my notation that all these pages come from a single topic, exhibition. Okay, my cuckoo is playing. Okay, so I'm grouping. This does not correspond to any. It's a grouping notation. We have these three pages coming from this topic or from this kind of topic. And so you have this dotted, say, rectangular for group of pages coming from one topic. When you have the double line, means you have multiple instances of this combination of pages coming from a kind of topic. So kind of topic means multiple pages, means multiple organizations set of pages. This symbol means entry point. The entry point it's called entry point marker. The idea is that I don't remember if I explain the entry point page, but I can explain it now. The entry point page is the following: when I navigate to a topic or to a kind of topic, and I have several pages, which is the page that I see first? When I move from, assume that you have, this is a painting or this is an exhibition. When I say, okay, tell me something about the exhibition. Are you going to the practical info, to the reservation, or to the welcome and sponsors? This arrow says you will go to the welcome and sponsors. So instead of making a link inside here, you put this symbol and say, okay, you will get inside here as first entry point to this set of pages. And then this is the introductory page for an introductory dialogue act for a single group. This will the double or stronger arrow, larger shape line is for multiple group. And this is the notation for embedding a group introductory act of a group inside another group. So for example, there is an example in next pages. Hopefully I lost it. Okay, 1 second. Like here. Yeah. Okay, like here. Okay, here you're putting together the introductory act all prints, okay, that contains a short introduction and a list of themes, okay. This is the introductory act all prints, the elements in bold. And then you have many introductory act, one of prints, one for each theme. So these are the prints about theme, these are the prints about love, and so on. In these pages, you're putting together this introductory act with the other introductory act. In order to model a situation like this, the notation is the one here. It is this one. So I have a page which includes the main one introductory act and all introductory act for the member groups. And this is the symbol for transition pages. Okay. Also, this is the symbol for link. This is a link symbol for bidirectional links. So it's a way to, instead of making two arrows, one in this direction, another in the other direction, we put the double edge. Here you want to pinpoint that you are link type, so you have multiple instances of links, of a link type. You have set of links. This is a symbol to say that a given link is coming out from all pages in a group, like in this case. Okay. Okay. In this case, when you put this arrow here, it means that this link comes out from this page, and this page. Okay. Then when you want to put a navigation pattern, you just write the pattern name, which will be index, guided tour, index plus guided tour, all to all. And you associate in the pattern names where? In any situation where you have a group of pages, when you have a set of pages. So you can put dialogue act to describe how the structural links work, or you can define a pattern to describe how to navigate across items that are related by a semantic relationship or within group. And then this symbol here means that this page is, I can just take it and move it down here. Okay, this page, because this is a page, is a landmark page. So all pages will have links to this page. Okay, and this is some example of notation. Okay, when I have a notation like the one in the middle, it means that these links comes out from all. So from this, from this, from this. So it's a sort of sticker to all pages. When I have a symbol like this, it's a way to make a more clear diagram, because the link would go out from this only, from the entry page only. Sorry, let me put it on forward. Okay, so when I have this, it means I'm coming out from this page. But since the graphical representation would come a mess, we said, okay, we make a convention. When I have this, it's coming out from the entry point. You see, this is the symbol for the entry. So the entry page is this, this, and this among this set of pages. This means I'm coming out from the entry point. This means I come out from all. If I want to come out only from one page, you anchor the link directly to that page. And the same happens when you have not just pages from one topic, but pages from a single topic, but the same applies to a set of pages for multiple topics. And these are examples. So this is the LIDM, and this is the P-IDM representation. The anchor means, okay, what is the entry point to these pages? Welcome plus sponsor, because we have this symbol. The fact that we have this sort of cross close to this page means that this page is a landmark page. So all pages will have a link to this page. The fact that we have an all-to-all pattern means that from each page, you can go to all other pages. So it's a compact way. Instead of putting a mess of arrows, you just say all-to-all. Down here, we have a relationship between painting and technique. Here we are saying, okay, when I go to a painting, my entry point is introduction. Okay, for technique is introduction as well. Then we have a link from all these pages, because we have this sort of element, a sticking point that say, okay, from all these pages, I can go to the technique. From all this paging of a technique, I can go to painting in some way. And this notation means that there is an intermediate, here it is, this one. There is an intermediate transition page from technique to paintings. So these are transition link. So from here, you go through one link to this page here, where I list all, I cannot get this one, when I list all paintings related to this technique. From this page, I can go back to technique, or I can select through an index plus graded to pattern the paintings that are related to this technique, which means I can select any painting in this list, or I can select the first one and go back and forth across across each painting which is related to this technique. So this is how how very seldom you can fit, you can put the diagram in a single page. If your website is relatively complex, you probably need, like in these cases, a diagram and a continuation of the diagram. So you have to find a solution, like in this case, okay, this link comes from homes, and home is in this page. So let's try to read this diagram and see what it's saying to us. Here in some places I put the cardinalities this is the representation of the final website implemented. So the cardinality do not have a minimum or a maximum, but they represent final design decision about cardinality. So the cardinality is the minimum, maximum instances. But when you're sure about the cardinality, you can just put the maximum. Okay, the real one, actually. Okay, so this website, and in some cases, cardinality are missing because to avoid a messy representation. So they said, okay, the home, this is the starting point. Home, of course, is a landmark. I can get to the home from any pages. And then we have from home, I have a link to a number of groups, masterpieces, all prints, themes, and all techniques. I also have a direct link to the museum. The museum, which is a set of pages for a single topic. The entry point for the museum is general info, and this is a landmark. Okay, so we have already two landmarks, 1 and 2. And then there is Munch, our artist. Again, we have only one main artist, which is Munch. And in Munch, we have the description of Munch is split in 4 pages. I apologize, there is a mixture of Italian and English. I didn't notice that. Anyway, I hope you can understand. The entry point is profile, and this is a landmark. And this page is a landmark. So we have landmark put in our menu in all pages. And then how do I navigate through structural link within Munch? Here is said index pattern. That means that from the first one, from the main entry page, which is the introduction to the set, a set made of 4 elements, from profile I can go directly to the other one, to each of them, and back to the profile. So index means that I can, from profile, so the entry point, I access directly each item, each page, and from each page, I can go up to profile. Here in museum, there is an A to A guided tour, which means that I get, the entry point for this set of pages are info about the museum, but all of them are connected and I can reach each page directly. Okay, then we have, we can look at the different group. Okay, this is the introductory page from masterpieces. Here is said I want to have it as a landmark, which means that all pages in this website will be linked to masterpieces. And I also have a link to all prints. This is also an introductory page. All pages will be related, will have link to this page. Same for themes, same for all techniques. So far we have 2, 4, 6, 7 landmarks. So a menu of 7 links to these pages will appear in some way in all pages. If you look at the guided tours here, at the patterns here, you see that in masterpieces we have defined an index plus guided tour pattern because we have 80 prints. Well, 80 prints is related to this. Okay, we don't know, we don't have the cardinality for this group. Anyway, here we say that we will have 80 prints. Masterpieces will be a selection of them. And I want to go from a list of masterpieces to each masterpiece in the list because I have an index guided tour. And from each masterpiece to the next one in the masterpieces group through next and previous links. Same here. We have said that between all prints, which are 80, we have certainly an index, plus for some reason the designer said, okay, I want also the user to go next and previous across all prints. A print from masterpieces or from all prints, where do you go? You will go to the introduction because the introduction is marked as entry point. And how do you explore which are the structural links in the set of pages for each print? You have an all-to-all pattern, which means from any page, introduction, large image, description, you can go to any of the other. without any constraints. But when you ask for a print, you will go to the introduction. Let's see here from themes. From themes here, we have a list of themes in this page, which is a landmark. I can select any theme and I will go to a page, and we have multiple instances of this page. This is a multiple introductory page of all prints, many mistakes, misspelling, of a given theme. Here you will see the list of painting from that themes, and you go and you can select using through a guided plus through an index plus guided to print pattern. You will go and explore the prints in this group, so you can explore all prints of a given theme, one after the other, because you have a guided tour, or going back and forth from the list of prints down to the specific theme, print or app. Okay, same for all techniques. For all techniques, we are assuming the user are not interested in exploring techniques. So they want to see a technique and then probably from a technique related prints with that technique. So we just put an index pattern, not an index plus guided to pattern. And then technique is a mono page element. So just technique is just description. And this links means that you can go to the list of paintings painted using this technique and back to the technique. And then you can select through an index or guided tour each single print listed here. And after you have selected it, you can go back and forth, next and previous, to the other prints using the same technique. And here you can really see how these guided tour links and also this index link or these groups links that are induced by these patterns are different from the links that are induced from this pattern. I mean, topologically they are the same, but when I come from masterpiece, I go up, I go to the list of masterpieces. When I am in the list of prints that use the same technique, and I say technique, I go here. Or when I go say up to the list of prints of say technique, I go here. And when I say next and previous, depending whether or not I'm coming from technique, the next will be print with the same techniques, or will be next masterpiece, or will be next print in a given list. Okay, this symbol, remember, is multiple, so I'm represented through a single notation, the fact that we'll have multiple pages of this kind. Here are exactly the same pages that I will have. Continuation. So you have to imagine, you should, see this as a continuation. All life period are additional, or in my mouse. All these are additional landmarks. So the number of landmarks is growing. Then you make up initial hypothesis of landmark and then you count them. You say, okay, are really necessary all of them, or shall I reduce them? Anyway, in our case, this introductory page to all life period of Munch are a landmark. This is also a landmark. Exhibition is also a landmark. I think that it was already. No, it was not. Okay. Introductory. Okay. This is life period. Life period at 4 elements, because there are 4 life periods. And this is the introductory page description. And here we decided to have a guided tour, in the sense that from the description of life period next to encounters, next to photos, or back from photo to encounters, back to description. No direct jump as we made before. Then we have, okay, there must be a problem here. Exhibition is 3 pages, only these pages with an index. Credits is another landmark. Oh, artistic movement, okay. And then here there is a small mistake in the notation. In my cut and paste, I have lost something. Anyways, the idea that there is an artistic movement Oh yes, the idea that artistic movement is mono page. So from an artistic movement, but I should have anyway. I forgot to put this round here, even if it's a single one. So artistic movement, you can go to a period of life. For a period of light, you can go to the list of the artistic movements that are related to that period of light. Artistic movement is represented by a number of artists, one or more that are you can navigate through index or guided tour, and each artist in this specific case is the main representative of an artistic movement. So here the mistake in this notation is that for some reason this external symbol that give the feeling that you have multiple pages for artistic movement has been lost. So this is the basic idea. So this is an exercise that you can do. Try to do reverse design from any website that you like. I haven't checked if this website is still active with this URL. Or discover navigation pattern in some of these websites in which you will see how tricky is the navigation in some of them, including Amazon. So that is all for today. We see tomorrow morning. You will receive a message about how to post your questions or doubts about this part in advance for tomorrow lesson. And tomorrow I will introduce you the specification of your design project. Okay, that's all. Okay, there's no other question. I stopped the recording.